Hi Legion, John Hittler, co-founder of Evoking Genius and co-creator of the Genius Discovery Process, with another edition of Pure Genius. We're going to take a little detour today. We don't normally talk in terms of products. Normally we're talking about people and culture. A couple questions. How profitable is your product? Obviously you built a business around it. Well, do you have a SKU of products or a family of products, or are you still working with your core first product? Let me ask you a second question. What are the two most important products in your current business? Two most important products. We've got one core product. We don't even have. Wait a minute. You don't have two? You don't have three? You don't have four? Today, here's our promise today. We're going to take on the subject of the two most important products that your business has to have to succeed. And in doing so, we're going to transform your cash flow, your client experience, and really how your whole team thinks. Want to play? Great. Let's spin the big wheel. Well, I coach entrepreneurs, CEOs, team leaders, and individuals to create lasting behavior change by making transformation safer and more attractive than standing still. In transforming your product strategy, that's what we're going to do today. Like I said, it's a little bit of a divergence from what we normally do. Normally we're talking in terms of transforming human beings either individually or corporately as a team. Today we're going to take that on, but a little bit of a side road. We're going to go towards product strategy, which is a little bit of a difference for us. Here's the background. I've built 9 companies. This is my 9th company. I've also got I had a charitable foundation, very experienced in that, always funded it myself and built it. And usually it had one core product. My current business did too for the first few years. The core product was coaching. Either we'd go on site and we'd coach teams, or we'd go on video Skype or face-to-face and coach CEOs, entrepreneurs, or team leaders. Fun, profitable, essentially a swap of time for money. Really fun, and I wake up every day. I'm blessed that I wake up every day and get to do what I do. I love what I do. I do it for free. I actually have pro bono clients, and it doesn't matter. I just love to do human transformation. It's really fun. But the truth was, for the first 3 years, I had one product. If you couldn't afford it, or if it wasn't a good fit, you were out. Not in a bad way. I didn't throw you out. I just didn't have anything else for you. It was my responsibility, but all I had was coaching. That's it. If you weren't quite ready for coaching, or you didn't really want it at the level that we did it, or you really wanted to do a webinar or a seminar or whatnot, I didn't have any of that. It was one product, and it was profitable, because as long as I kept a full calendar, got to do what I loved, got paid really well to do it, but it was hard to scale. Well, what was missing? What was missing? Same thing that's missing in your business, perhaps. The first product's profitable, made a difference in people's lives, required all the focus, got better at it every day. Yay, that's a big win. Except for all the people who were interested in interacting with myself or my partner and myself and our company, but couldn't afford it. What about the ones who couldn't afford it? Or whose business wasn't quite at a place for them to be ready for what we did? What do you do with them? We didn't know what to do with them either. So we kind of put them in a database. We kind of kept track on them. Every once in a while we'd reach out to them and see if they were ready. But we were trying to put them into our core product. So we check back with them once or twice a year and say, hey, now are you ready? Are you ready for coaching? Can you afford it? Or is your team at the progress point that you're ready? If they weren't, it was a pass-fail. They either passed and were in, and we had a client, yay, or they didn't pass and they were out. Boo. Boo for them and boo for us, because both sides lost. That wasn't so good. And what happened was The interested parties, we didn't have any way to take care of them. We didn't have what I call a pre-product. And that's the first product I'm going to say. It's the most important product you need in your business if you don't have it. And it's a product that's designed for your prospects. Because the truth is, if you have to sell every month and find new prospects, but you have no way of keeping them connected and growing them to use your core product, it's like a hole in a bucket. You have to keep putting water in every month and a lot of it leaks out. What if you designed a product for your prospects? We call it a pre-product. It keeps them engaged. It has them experience what you do. It produces some revenue. And really, it's the reason you got in business in the first place. It contributes to their success. If your business isn't about somehow contributing to your client's success, I can guarantee you're going to fail. But that's not who you are. You got to be an entrepreneur because you want to change people's lives, or you want to contribute, or you want to make a difference. Why not do it with people who aren't quite ready for your main product? It's what we call a pre-product. So here's what we had. We had services that started around $2,500 a month. That was our product. Okay. If it was a corporate team, it was much more than that. If it was an individual, it was a little less than that. But basically, call it $2,500 a month or $30,000 a year. Well, we're working with entrepreneurs, team leaders, or CEOs. Some of them couldn't afford that. They just weren't ready. Some of them just weren't at a point where coaching was the right move. Either one, we didn't know what to do with them. So they were lost. Well, what we invented a series of free products. Now, similar to like what I'm doing today. This is what I call marketing. But a series of educational videos are all online, and we do that as a gift or as a pre-product for people. Obviously, there's no revenue there, and there is expense. So it is a marketing function for us. But we also have a $7 product. $7 for the whole product. Wow. We also have a $47 product, a $297 product, and I'll call it $2,000. It's $19.95. We have all of those as opposed to a $2,500 a month product, which is $30,000 a year. Well, for companies or individuals who couldn't afford $30,000, could they afford $7? Everybody could afford $7. Could they afford $47? Everyone can afford $47. Could they afford and would they buy a $297 one? We see the numbers fall off there. Some people say, wow, the $7 product was great, totally worth way more than that. I'm going to buy the $47 product. Super. Then they get to $297. $297 actually is a little bit of money, so we see the numbers fall off, but many people buy that as well. And then again, the numbers fall significantly when you go from $297 to $19.95 or $2,000. It's okay. Here's why. All of those people would not be able to afford a $30,000 a year product. So now they're engaging with our services. They're getting an experience. They're growing. They're building. And a portion of those people are growing into customers or clients who will eventually be $30,000 a year clients. Terrific! It takes great care of them. It gives us some revenue, and everybody wins. That's why we call it a pre-product. That's also why we say it's the most important product that your business has to have, what we call a pre-product for your prospects. Well, here's some tips on how to do it, some guidelines for you. When people say, $7, you can't afford to even interact with a client for $7. There's no way that I do. I don't interact with 7 or 47. The reason is you can build that product to be self-directed. They can do it themselves. It might be a webinar, it might be an interactive online tool, it might be a report. But for $7, I had to build a $7 tool, and as many people as buy it, my contribution is done once it's built. Same with the $47 client. So once it's built, and both of those products took about a day of design, 2 half days really, and a day to put it together. Great, so I build it once, 2 days of work, and they're permanently done. Now, could I redo them and improve them? Sure. but for now the investment is 2 days of work, and they permanently produce revenue, and more than that, they connect prospects who I would otherwise lose out of the bottom of my leaky bucket. It connects them to our company and to our work. Great, we're actually growing clients. So I can get $7 or $47, and they get value well above what they pay. And then will they buy $297? At $297, we do have some interaction with them. At $19.95, we definitely have interaction with them, and then we grow them into bigger clients. So you see how this works. But there's the big guideline for you. Build a pre-product that does not require you having to touch the client one-on-one. It's self-directed by the client. That way, your investment is one time, and now your prospects, you're actually contributing and putting them to work for your business. If that makes good sense. So that's the first product that we say you have to. It's actually the most important product you can have is your prospect product, or your what we call your pre-product. So how about the second one? Now the second one was, gosh, we coach people, and let's say it's 30 grand a year. No, that's not everybody, but that's a round number. Who's the easiest client to sell to a second time? Somebody who's already buying from you and satisfied and delighted with what you're doing. So what we did was we designed a $300,000 a year product. What? Who buys a $300,000 a year coaching product? Not that many people. We don't need that many people to buy it. In fact, we don't want that many people to buy it. But what if a half dozen people did, or 5? That's a lot of revenue. Where are they likely to come from? They're going to come from the stable of clients who have already experienced great results by utilizing our main product. They're going to say, gosh, if I got this much value out of your $30,000 a year product, will I get 10 times value out of a $300,000 product? Yeah, logically, that's the only place those clients will come from. Well, statistically, we absolutely know from places like Harvard Business Review and Forbes Magazine and the Institute of Cost Accountants that the most profitable product that every business has is their second one. Why? Take Apple, for example. How many times did they almost go under selling computers? Twice? Twice that I know of. They almost didn't make it selling computers. But what they developed was they developed a loyal following, people that said, oh my God, I don't want to use a PC, I don't want to use Windows, or MS-DOS, if you remember that. Oh, back in the dark ages when there was MS-DOS. It was a new way of thinking, and they had a loyal following. But it wasn't loyal enough to build a business only selling computers. Their second product, remember what it was? 100 songs in your pocket. It was an iPod. It wasn't even their product. It was an MP3 player that I think Samsung developed. But nobody knew what an MP3 player was. Steve Jobs called it 100 songs in your pocket, called it an iPod, and they sold those like hotcakes. One, they were cheap, but the profit margin on them was enormous. And all the people that had already experienced Apple style and computers and the culture, the second product was way more profitable than the computers, even though it was a lesser priced product. Then what did they do? They did iPhone. They invented the iPhone, and it's still the most profitable phone by far. In fact, 90% of the profits in cellular phone sales belong to Apple. Everybody else makes almost nothing selling cellular phones. Apple makes a huge margin because it's their third product. They've already got the loyalty and the client base. They just introduce a third product to a rabid customer base. And then they did, they did the iPad, and now they get the watch. And they will continue to create new products, almost all of which are more profitable than the last. Your second product offering statistically will be way more profitable than your first. So you're building a company based on your first product, and what most companies do is they put all their time, money, and energy in that, Your most important product offering in front of that is your pre-product. Your second most important, because it's going to be more profitable, is the second product after your core product. So it's really pre-product, your core product, and now your secondary offering to your loyal clients. It's going to be more expensive usually, greater profit margin, and much easier to sell because you're dealing with people who already know you and like you and have experienced the contribution you've made to their business. Got it? So let me ask you this. Do you have your pre-product? If not, you got work to do. Do you have your secondary or tertiary product? If not, have fun building it. Like us, we had to do the same, and I encourage you to do so. It'll revolutionize your business. Your clients will love you for it, and you'll grow your profitability and your contribution in the world. And isn't that what it's all about in the end? That's why you became an entrepreneur in the end. So I trust this is helpful. Again, like I said, it's not our normal subject matter, but it's transformational just the same. You're going to transform your company by adding the two most important products that you may be missing. Till we meet on Pure Genius again, all the best.